Hi everyone, welcome to day 5 of my 7-day dissolving disempowerment challenge that I'm doing it for myself and sharing it with you guys so you can do it as well and benefit from this video. If you have not watched day 1 to day 4, I strongly recommend you to watch it, especially for day 5's challenge, because the build up in confidence is especially important to tackle day 5. I have the links for those videos in the description box below, and once again I strongly encourage you to watch them to fully benefit from day 5. So, today's challenge is not easy because it's about directly stepping into creating the change that alters the patterns that you have been in all your life. In day 5, we are no longer going to use softball techniques and solutions that indirectly influences our disempowered state into shifting into empowerment. In day 5, we will dive right into questioning, challenging, and changing our personal stories. If you have done day 2's exercise, you know the stories that kept you in the patterns that you have been for so long, in your patterns of powerlessness, in your patterns of disempowerment. Reclaiming your personal power in those specific areas means that you must change those stories. So ask yourself, what would reclaiming personal power look like? And be extremely honest with the answer. If the answer scares you, if it elicits fear in your heart, there is a high chance you're doing it correctly. Because change is not easy. When you are taking a step into reclaiming your personal power back, you're also reclaiming personal responsibility that you have given up. In some ways, when you take your power back, you have to face the consequences you have avoided all your life. And you have to this time round not abandon yourself and hold your ground strong. So to demonstrate my point, I'm going to give my personal example. My challenge was around people with authority and the ability to make decisions that impact my life directly. Now, during this journey, I realized that this disempowerment that I feel is a direct reflection of the abandonment of personal power, personal authority, and losing personal ground that I have given up many years ago as a small child, because at that time that's what kept me safe. Reclaiming my power back means that I have to take back my sense of authority, opinion, voice, speaking up at the face of being challenged by something that feels larger than life, potentially feeling like I'm being threatened, and being disapproved and disliked by others. Now, as a former golden child and a people pleaser, this goes against the grain of everything in my life that I've done so far and all the patterns that I have functioned in so far. It looks like no matter what, I must stand in my ground strong. And if I don't reclaim my power back, if I don't reclaim my personal perspective, my unique opinions, and my unique insights, I will never be able to create a life that I truly desire. Because along my journey, if I am being faced with challenges that questions my authority, questions my influence, questions my opinion, questions my intellect, I will cave, I will fawn, and if I stay in those patterns, I will run away. Remember, the very gates that we have avoided passing through is the very gates we need to pass through in order to step into the next important phase of our life. This time round, you and I, we are both making a promise to not abandon ourselves, regardless of fear. Now, once you have made that promise to yourself, I want to let you know that taking this step of bravery does not ignore fear. It doesn't negate it. In fact, quite the opposite. You have to hold the fear you feel close to yourself. You have to acknowledge that fear. Bulldozing the fear and jumping right into an action just for the sake of an outcome that you want is not going to help. In fact, it's going to reinforce the states of disempowerment that you have been for so long. Taking the step while caretaking your fear can look like taking a small step into bravery, taking the first step that looks like reclaiming your personal power. For example, if you have powerlessness relative to being pushed around by others all your life, a simple telling someone, "No, I will not do that because I am tired," might be one of the bravest steps you have taken. Because the commitment is to changing the patterns, the commitment is to change the relationship we have pertaining to our specific areas, not bulldozing ourselves into outcome. And for that, if you have to start at a space that is small, then you start there and you slowly increase upwards. To give you an analogy of what I really mean, just imagine the powerlessness that you feel relative to the specific subject as a small child that is up against a giant ocean with crashing waves and scary sharks. But the small child is fear of water. Taking a step towards empowerment does not look like forcing the child into stepping into ocean. Taking a step towards empowerment looks like a promise, a commitment for the child to change his or her pattern relative to water itself first. So the first step of empowerment for that small child might look like stepping into a kiddie pool and rediscovering water, rediscovering his own unique relationship with water, understanding how he wants to tread waters in his own terms. And then maybe the next step of empowerment for him would be to step into a shallow pool where he is able to learn how to play and tread water and learn buoyancy. And then maybe the next step for that boy is to go to water parks where he reinforces his positive relationship with water and allows himself to learn the safety of treading water. And then maybe the next step in his journey to reclaiming his personal power and personal relationship with water is to finally step into deep pool, the adult pool. Until one day, that boy is ready to step and face the ocean that he was once scared so much. But this time round, It is his own choice. It is his own personal choice to face that ocean, because he acknowledges and understands that the only way he is able to move through the gates that he has feared all his life is to thread right through them. Taking back your power looks like changing your relationship relative to the subject matter, not swiftly jumping into an outcome. Especially if you have been in these patterns since childhood, which high chances are you have, reparenting and starting at baby steps possibly might be the best commitment you can make for yourself. Now, whether reclaiming your power looks like an action step that is small and starting at ground zero, or reclaiming your power looks like directly facing the fierceness of the ocean that you feared so much, is entirely dependent on your personality, your specific story, and the specific area that you're working on. So understand your unique nuance. Understand that you are your own individual person. And with faith, do what you know is right, is the right step into committing, into reclaiming the power. So my challenge for you today is to take the first step, no matter how small the action is, into recommitting yourself, into claiming your power back. That means you are going to reclaim and redefine your relationship with the subject matter that you feel powerlessness to. I want to end our video with this one quote from author and meditation teacher Barb Smith. In one of her Instagram posts, she writes, "The weird thing about bravery is that if you're doing it right, it feels like fear." I want to commend you for your commitment today, and I recognize your bravery. You are a force, a super force to be reckoned with. Have a good day and good luck with the challenge. I will see you again soon.